I hate that, but we on. So I hate that. I hate to do that to everybody, but can you hear?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, can you guys hear each other?
Correct. Everybody, I think. K,
Okay, good.
you on?
And if you rejoin, it's great. If you don't, maybe you catch it on the rebroadcast. But and Margaret Nick says it sounds better. Thank you, Margaret, for pointing it out to begin with, Margaret.
Thank you, Margaret.
Thank you,
Just
Margaret.
Thank you,
Definitely.
Margaret.
just a beautiful soul you are. And I see you, Margaret, up at Blue Dolphin getting it in at them shows. I see you, girl. I see you, Margaret. Margaret be throwing
Word
down up
up.
there, Q.
All right, Mimi says much better as well. Good, good. That's good, Mimi. I'm
Doing
glad to
her
hear that as
thing.
well. All right, well, now that we got the sound recovered, and hopefully that'll be better for the duration of the show, we can get back to the content at hand. And maybe, Lenny, let's just reboot and start with the video again, man, because the video was skipping as well.
Oh, okay. Okay, good enough. Okay.
Hi, folks. Welcome back to the Knight Brothers Show. We're going to talk today about a staple of black culture. Before Twitter threads and TikTok dances, we had the barbershop. We had the beauty salon. These weren't just places to look fresh. They were the safe havens of the black community. A place where you could speak your mind and get your edges laid at the same time. Need a job? They knew somebody. Trouble with your man? They had advice. And a whole support group ready. Want to talk politics, parenting, or the best rapper alive? Pull up a chair. But now, it's different. Are we preserving these spaces or slowly walking away from them? Social media's got us thinking the conversation's all online now. But can a trending topic replace a barbershop debate? Can an Instagram live match the vibe of that Friday afternoon buzz? Some shops are evolving, going digital without losing the soul. They're blending tradition with tech. Still cutting hair and still cutting deep with the conversations. But let's be clear, these places are more than service businesses. They're community anchors where generations of black wisdom, healing, and joy live. So let's not let the scroll replace the soul. Let's protect the legacy of these spaces and the people who make them magic.
All
Talking
right,
about the
all right.
barbershop. I almost sang the
Yes,
Caldwell
sir.
song. Talking about the barbershop. Yeah, but Q, go ahead. Um, you see the question on the screen. Be brief but brilliant.
Yeah, why were the barbershops so important to the and beauty shops so important to the community? Well, there's a myriad of reasons, but one of the things about it I like to say was they were kind of a safe space for the community, a place where we all gathered, and in some ways we still do. And everything went on in there. You know, we debated politics. We talked about the latest movie trends. We talked about what was happening in the community and things of that nature. But they were a place to not only socially meet, but to emotionally connect as well. I can remember going to Leroy's Barbershop or Chambers Barbershop or Moon's Barbershop, and it was always a sense of camaraderie there. So that's one of the things that was so important about those shops.
No, cool. Most definitely. I mean, got a lot of fond memories from barbershops when I was young, particularly.
Mhm.
But I'll wait for the questions to go before we can talk about that. Kenny, you see the question on the screen. What's your thoughts on it?
Absolutely. Just like he said, the black barber shops were a place to go and we would just hang out. We would just chill, talk about everything and everybody, spread rumors, hear rumors. That's just what it was. It's a good place for gatherings. And it
Yeah.
goes back to their platforms, the social media. Social media controls everything now. And a lot of barbershops are adjusting to that. But going back for me, my barbershop, I don't know if y'all remember, was Monroe Green on Apple
Yeah, I
Drive.
remember
Right,
Monroe
right.
Green,
I
sir.
remember.
Yeah.
I remember Miss Monroe Green. Yep.
That was my barber. I did Leroy's, I did Chambers, but when I was in Maryland, I never did Moon because I was gone. But Moon is doing a great job, a beautiful job. The thing is, I haven't been to a barbershop. The last person to cut my hair was probably 10, 15 years ago, Shaq's Barbershop in Orlando, 3-in-1 hair salon. I've been cutting my own hair since the 90s. So
Wow.
I did
Wow.
have, yeah, I did have the experiences with Monroe when I was younger. And, you know, everybody went to Leroy's, everybody did Chambers. So, and the experiences I had in there, even though they were smaller barbershops, it was the same thing like Big Brother said. It was a form of camaraderie. We could talk about anything and everybody. We would talk about some things that probably shouldn't have been talked about. But it's just that it's called barbershop talk. And that's just what
Yeah.
it was. And that's something that we're still missing today.
Yeah. The barbershops was always like a great debate uh, location. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You get
Yeah.
Arden. I know you talk on the screen, Arden, but I mean, if you want to chime in and talk about that, but I could always hear a great debate in the
Mm-hmm.
barbershop, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
Always.
You see Margaret
Yeah.
Nick's comment. I like Margaret
It
Nick's
was one
comment.
place.
Go ahead, Arden.
Oh, I didn't know Arden was there now.
Yeah, he's dark,
No,
but
no, I was about to say it was one place. It was one place that you could really have communication with multiple generations. You know, older,
Mm-hmm.
younger, your age, and get a multitude of perspective, so to speak. You know, because you talk to some older people, they got a different perspective because they've been through some stuff. You know, and they're like, yeah, yeah, youngin, you know what I mean? You that'll change soon because of blah 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 blah. And so you would definitely get a lot of jewels, but I was kind of like Kenny, in reference to the barbershop. When I was growing up, it was only a couple of barbershops around there, and me waiting 4 hours for a barbershop, you know, on a Saturday or Sunday, I had a show to do that night. You know what I mean, Lenny? So
mhm.
I couldn't afford to sit there for 4 or 5 hours. I didn't have the time. So I started cutting my hair like 13, 14 years old. I was cutting my hair myself. Temple tapers, fades, afros, yeah, everything. But yeah, I became pretty nice with the blim blam, and I hadn't gotten a haircut from like a barber since 13 years old, and now it's like $50 for a barber for a cut
Yeah.
now. Yo,
Is it? How much is a haircut? It, how much
With
is a
tip,
haircut?
it's a lot.
$50.
With tip, it's a lot. And that's the reason why I started cutting my own hair because I think it was like
Around here is
$10
$50.
or something back then. That was a lot. So I started. That's one of the reasons I started cutting my own
Exactly.
hair.
Q, you still go to the barbershop, right?
It was,
Not
For
very
me,
much. But no, but that I'm trying to get back to what we really were talking about the barbershop. We're getting away from what we really were talking about. And let's get back to knowledge in the barbershop. Talk about the community
well, I
part
mean,
of
I thought we talking. Yeah, I mean, but we talking about the whole experience, and that's part of it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's all everything's connected to everything. So keep on rolling though.
I like what Margaret said. The young people, yes, old people had advice and wisdom for you, and that was one of the things that I always noticed when I used to go in the barbershop.
Yes.
You know, an elderly or a more seasoned person, let me say, a little bit grown person, especially when I was young when we went, they didn't have no
Yeah.
cut cards with just bringing something up on a youngster that came in there. You know what I mean? It's just like he was just like game,
Yeah.
pickings. You know, they would just start talking about,
It was a
you
different
young
time.
fella, you don't know nothing about that. And, they would go into stories. So it was great to learn a lot, man. But anyway, how are some of the
Yes.
barbers nowadays adapting to the digital age of things? Anybody want to take a stab at that? Arden, Q, Kenny?
Well, a lot
I
of them
tell
have
you, a lot of
implemented. Go ahead, Art, because I can't really see it.
oh no, I mean, a lot of barbers have changed to having appointments. You have some barbers that have changed their whole business model where they come to your house now. I mean, it's a lot of things changing as far as that's concerned. Um, So it's definitely changing up, and you have some barbers that took it to a whole nother level where they're doing, the shampoo, they doing facials, they doing the whole nine. They giving you like a spa type situation at a barbershop. So
Hmm.
it's definitely people are changing model wise and doing more services also.
I wanted you spawned the thought. I wanted to say something, but I don't want to take the conversation too far to the left with the painting and all of that type of stuff. But yeah, on the appointments thing, and I guess I wanted to ask the ladies: is it the same for like women now? We talking barbers because we talking men and we talking, but we also talking. You see the woman in here getting her hair washed. Is it the same situation for women now? Has things changed for you, for the ladies out there over years, as far as the hair salon experience and what has gone on? Anybody want to comment there from a lady's perspective to see why I read
Please. Yes.
Mimi's comment? Cultural center and social hubs, gathering places of economic empowerment, just to name a few.
That's right.
Entrepreneurship, mental and emotional support, counseling, and support. You're right, Mimi, all of those
I'm
things,
glad you said that.
you know.
Yes.
So,
I'm glad you said that, because that piece is huge. How much the barbershop impacts financial and commercial uh, commerce that goes on in there. You know what I mean? Somebody always pulling up into the barbershop with something for sale. You know, you know what I'm saying, Kitty? Sure, I know you did. You know, what I mean, got some deals out there, joint.
Margaret said, yes, a lot of talk goes on in the beauty shop as well. Because
Absolutely.
I know it's instant debate in the men's side of it in the barbershop queue where somebody said something about sports and it would be
Sports.
on. It would just be like an instant debate up in that camp. Especially if it was like the playoffs time or, you know what I mean, football that, people would get very passionate in the barbershop and it'd just be like a group
Without
discussion up in
question.
that camp, group debate.
Well, lots of
How
times
about
the barbershop or beauty
heated?
shop a microcosm of what's going on in the community at the time, and often that spills over into that barbershop or beauty shop where there's conversation. It could be something happening locally in the community, and a lot of conversation is spurred in that barbershop or beauty shop.
No doubt. Okay. And the last question I throw out there,
Yes, sir.
because the video talked about the importance of preservation and of physical spaces, because people are so digital now that they, you know, everything is so separated, and COVID helped, cause some of that, and it just stuck. It seemed like where people just rather congregate digitally rather than physically and in person. And barbershop was one of those places. So answer that question on the screen. Kenny, you want to take a stab at it?
It's very important to preserve these physical spaces. And just like the question says, tradition. It's something that we always had. It's something that we always leaned on. We can go back now and laugh at times we spent in the barbershop. Sometimes that barbershop was the place you seen one of your good friends, through life changes. You didn't see him normally, but you would see him or her in that barbershop. And just like Margaret Nick says, a lot of conversation goes on in the women's barbershop too, probably more than ours. But it was a good place to catch up, to a good camaraderie, catching up, seeing what's going on, talking about, like you said, Lenny, the latest events, what's going on. It was just a great place to do that. It wasn't we weren't on our phones. It wasn't we were talking about the president. We were just talking about what was going on in our lives, good or bad, fun or sad. It was just a great place and a great time. And unfortunately, it's changing just like everything else. Like we said, with the onset of social media. But hopefully there are places that still have that tradition.
Statement from Mimi is it's more structured time management appointment. Ladies was always
That's
structured
true.
because it's pricey.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
apparently, now Mimi, you can follow up with that if you want to. Apparently, there was a comment made by barbers that the price has definitely gone up dramatically that I didn't know about because obviously I don't I don't need to go to the barber shop, but the price has gone up dramatically. I wonder if that's the same for women. I do know that when my wife goes to get the braids done, it just seemed to be astronomical. I mean, it's always in the hundreds, and I don't know if
Well,
it's just a women thing or what, but you know what I mean. But they there like 5 hours doing your braids, so I can kind of
Oh
understand
yeah,
some of the
yeah.
price.
and that's
Now,
like everything else in life. Everything else has
Mhm.
gone up in price as well. So the
Everything.
cost of haircuts and beauty salons have gone up with it. It's just a microcosm of society as a whole, as I said earlier. You know, they have products and things they have to cover for, and they have to make their profit margins. So of course the price is going to go up on things.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
The time we
I
living
just
in.
didn't know for women how much it went up, and I was
Yeah.
just trying to get a gauge if that because Mimi
oh,
did mention that it was pricey.
dramatically. If you talking about plaits, you talking about braids or whatever else. If you talking about braids or whatever else, man, I mean, you got like the micros, $1,000. To get micros. You know what I'm saying? And the different sister locks, those like $1,000. Uh,
Wow,
the
Wow.
plaits. I mean,
we're in the
braids.
wrong
You
profession,
talking
Q.
about
We're in the
people
wrong
do something
profession.
without
We
their
got to get
hands.
out
Yeah,
there.
well, I mean, I'm sure there are people that pay that kind of price, but the prices I know that people I know, it usually it's like $300, $400 or something. It's usually the normal cost to get any kind of braiding situation done.
And now let me ask you this: what about the brother that need his hair braided? Is that still? I mean, the price still no different?
I'm sure it has. I'm
Yeah, like
sure
everything
that
else
is
these
just as
days.
Oh, it's
astronomical
gone up
as women.
dramatically.
Wow,
Absolutely.
wow,
The,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
yeah, especially like how
You can
people getting their hair
retwist, and
braided
somebody
now.
can retwist.
With designs.
When I had dreads, before I got my dreads cut off, the last time I can remember, it was a couple $100. It was about 100, $150 to $200 to get you retwist.
Really, Q?
Yes.
Mimi, thank you for your comment. She said yes, it's pricey from
Yeah,
200 to
exactly.
500 for a hairdo. Damn.
Mm.
Wow, that's a car payment. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I just think, when you start to correlate, damn, I didn't know it was like that.
That's a car payment, and for some people, car payment and insurance.
Yeah, no doubt. Wow, I didn't know
That's
that. Didn't
crazy.
realize that. Well, look, I'm definitely give more compliments when I see y'all than in the street, because y'all going hard up in the paint just to, look good. You know.
And a lot of times you got to remember that sometimes when you getting retwisted, it was for something that lasted, a couple of months. So, you got to look at it from that perspective as well.
Absolutely.
Hold on,
Absolutely.
what Marcus comment? She said back in the day you had hair supplies that came to the salon, so you got a deal, but now you have to go to the beauty store a lot of times. Okay.
That's true.
For the products as well, then. Okay. The products that go along with it. I guess they pricey too, and the ads to it. Are you right? My girlfriend just paid $1,000. Damn. It's just, blows me. But, oh my God. Okay. Midlife Sam McKinney said I paid 200 for my
8-year-old hair.
Yeah, that's
year
that.
old's head. Woo. Cute. Cute. That's something I didn't have to deal with my son when I took him to the barber shop when he was young. That's for sure. I used to take little Lenny to Monroe Green. Tashia used to take him there. I'd take him there sometime. Tashia would take him, get him squared off. But I went to a bunch of barbershops. I did Chambers. I did Leroy. Leroy was always cool, man. I used to like going
Yeah,
to
he was.
Leroy. You know what I mean?
God
Leroy
bless
always had some type of conversation for you, as you know what I
him.
mean? Especially if he knew you was into something cute, like if you played ball, he would have something good to tell you. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
then what's
Music.
the other brother that worked in the school system? Damn, I forget his name. I don't know why I'm getting old. But he would always talk about sports and whatnot. He cut hair in Leroy's or one of those barbershops. He cut hair. Uh, huh? Q,
What was that?
did you know his name?
I'm not sure who you were talking about. I'm not
Yeah.
exactly sure who you were talking
Uh,
about.
I think he related to you, Lisa Slade.
Yeah.
But he used to cut hair as well. And he would always have a good word to tell you as a youngster. I used to always remember like coming home from college because I went to school in West Virginia. Really, there wasn't no black barbers there, and I used to always love coming back home to get a haircut. from a black barber in the neighborhood, and it just was, such a great thing to do. Alma said, they pay to be a diva, baby. It pays to be a diva. You know, you know, you gotta pay to be a diva. All right, anyway, we're gonna keep the segment moving, y'all. Keep things moving along. Q.
Yes, sir. Vibe number 2, we're going to talk about something that a lot of folks are using, and using for different reasons. Some folks are using it as a form of weight loss, some are as just a form of their overall health. We're going to talk about juice, and we got a video that we're going to break down, and after the video, we're going to go into the question and answer part of this segment.
Welcome back to the Knight Brothers Show, where wellness meets real talk. Today, we're tackling juicing. It's everywhere, from Instagram to fancy health food stores. Let's break it down like chapters of a book. We begin with chapter 1. Celebrities like Gwyneth Paltrow, Beyonce, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson swear by it. But is it the miracle it's hyped up to be, or just another health fad? Let's get into it. Celebrities are always on to the next big thing in health and wellness. Juicing has become a staple for high-profile people like athletes, actors, and musicians. Gwyneth Paltrow posts green juice recipes on Goop, and Beyonce did the master cleanse for Dreamgirls. Super producer, singer Pharrell Williams, who's always happy, and legendary tennis superstar Novak Djokovic have talked about how juicing has been helpful to their overall health. Even actor Chris Hemsworth, aka Thor, is all about juicing to fuel his superhero physique. So, why are all these celebrities so into juicing? There are some legitimate benefits. You're getting a quick shot of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants in an easily digestible form. Chapter 3, the pitfalls and myths. But before you buy a top-of-the-line juicer, let's talk downsides. Juicing removes a lot of fiber from fruits and vegetables. Fiber helps regulate blood sugar and keeps you feeling full. Some juice recipes are loaded with sugar, turning them into sugary cocktails. And the detox myth? Your body is a self-cleaning machine with your liver and kidneys working 24/7. So, don't fall for the hype. Chapter 4, juicing the right way. Ditch the sugar bombs and focus on veggies like kale, spinach, and celery. Add a little fruit for flavor. Think green apple, lemon, or ginger. Experiment with ingredients like turmeric and beets. Fresh is always best. Bottled juices lose nutrients and may have preservatives. Make it your own and keep it healthy. Chapter 5, who should be cautious? Juicing isn't for everyone. If you have diabetes or blood sugar issues, be sure to consult your doctor, because sugary juices can mess with your levels. Check with your doctor if you're on medications or have underlying health conditions. For kids, remember whole fruits are always a better option. So, is juicing just a fad, or is it the be-all and end-all of health? Probably not. But make no mistake, it's a useful tool. Absolutely. Remember, it's all about balance. Remember, juicing is a supplement, not a replacement for it.
All right, brother. Q, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
You can hear me, Q?
Yes, I can.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. Have my mic off. Okay, I thought I had it off. Anyway, Q, let's start with you. I look at a juicing video. Always, it's pros and cons to all of that. But anyway, let's start with this question, Q. Can you read the question right there? Give a historical
Yes, sir.
question.
historical perspective of juicing and when did juicing first become popular. Well, juicing has a little bit of a background itself, man. It came back, there was a couple of people in modern popularity. One in particular in the 1930s, a Dr. Norman Walker, who designed the first mechanical juicing machine. It became popular when he started to use a machine to use juice for a model for healthy living. Can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Yep. It became as a model of healthy living. And from that, people started to tie it into weight loss and healthy living. And that's when it begins to become people using it for things like cleansing and things of that nature. But there's some stuff that wasn't quite factual. The detox culture kind of tied itself to it. And the detox culture talked about aligning juicing to the detox culture, the health culture. I'm sorry, I couldn't get that word out. Culture. But actually, one thing I want you to know that your body does a lot of that naturally, as the video talked about. Our body does a lot of that already. So we can't give the detox culture and juicing total health and credit for that.
All right, I see you there. I'm hoping that you can still hear. I know you're outside and it's dark and you don't have a lot of visitors. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm with you. I can hear you, definitely. Can you read that question for me, though? Because I know you hadn't put it up yet. I appreciate it.
And your phone is feeding back into the broadcast.
You got mad feedback.
I think that's your speaker on your phone.
Whoever's not talking, mute yourself.
No, it's coming from your phone.
Thank you.
No, it's coming from your phone.
No, it's not. I just muted it. Okay. Well, because I was muted and we were still getting the feedback, but can you explain some... Can you hit that question for me?
Yeah, can you explain some of the top health benefits of juicing and why it attracts a lot of people to juice?
I mean, in the sheer fact of getting high vibrational food and being able to take in the nutrients and the minerals, vitamins, and it's already in a liquid form, so you don't have to chew it, you don't have to break everything down, because that's the first step in digestion. It's already broke down, so as you take it in, you can get it into your system faster than anything. And I would say, if you're drinking juice like this, don't gulp it down. Drink some and chew the juice like it's food almost. Because what's going to happen is that your saliva and everything else will start to break it down and introduce it into your bloodstream and into your system faster. That is the really most important part of it. The fact that you can get in what you need, because most people aren't eating the amount of vegetables that they need a day. They're not getting that in. But you can juice a whole big thing of celery and cabbage, or not even cabbage, but spinach, kale, stuff like that. You can juice more than you would generally eat raw and get all of that chlorophyll and everything else that you need to ingest in your body and in your system to make you operate at a higher level. Because that's really what it is. It's about performance.
How does it help the immune system?
Definitely help you get stronger. Say that again?
How does it help the immune system, and so how?
Just like I said, I mean, you get in the appropriate nutrition, that is your immune system. You know, getting in those vitamins that help your body heal itself and regenerate itself. So in turn, you know, what you're juicing can really help you cleanse. That's why I would kind of, you know, bounce back on that fact of what juicing can do as far as cleansing is really dramatic, because you can take in such things as what we were picking today. What was that called we were picking today? That we were talking about. He thought it was broccoli at the beginning. parsley, and who's the other one? Parsley, cilantro. Thank you. And you can juice things like cilantro in your juices, which help remove metals and from your system, which is very difficult. And it's a really bad situation that we have in America. 'Cause most people are cooking on aluminum, and all of that's going into your food. The plastic that you're getting from that little carry out in the black. And the black plastic is the worst to put hot foods on, because that uptakes into your food also. So that cleanses a lot of those things out. And depending on what you're juicing, it has a lot of effects in reference to that.
Yes, cilantro, particularly
I would say
cilantro.
it's imperative because yes. And I mean, remember we had a show about juicing celery each day and what that does for you. I mean, but it's just a lot to say about juicing as far as the beneficial effects of your body.
Kenny, I'm gonna throw two questions at you, and thank you, Arden, because you hit some key points. I'm gonna throw two questions at you. Why has the juicing protocol resonated so strongly across the spectrum of celebrities? And does juicing? Arden, mute yourself for a second because you get feedback on your phone. Thank you. And does juicing have a factual significance to improving athletic performance for athletes? Dive into those, brother.
Absolutely, bro. Juicing for celebrities is a quick way for them to maintain their weight, maintain their diet, maintain their energy. Because you think about it, they're always on the go. They don't have time to sit down and eat what we call a balanced meal. So juicing, in many ways, has provided a substitute, a healthy substitute, because there are a lot of unhealthy substitutes. And juicing is one of them that are healthy. Now, juicing is not 100%. What's the word I'm looking for here? It's not 100% the way to primarily go, because there are sugars and sugars that are bad for us. We know that. As far as athletically, it's the same thing I just said. But for athletes, juicing is a great way to recover. Now, you think about these guys are working out, balling, no matter what they do every day. They're not like us. We go to work and we come home and we walk or go to the gym for a couple hours. This is their life. And recovery is a big part of their daily process. And juicing has helped them in their daily process of recovery. And this goes back to, as far as I can think back, if I'm not mistaken, Steve Nash, toward the end of his career, when he went plant-based and all that, he also was talking about doing juicing. He was doing juicing. And think about how long ago he played. So this is not a new thing. This is something that's came up again. It's very important. Very important. It's something you should look into to supplement your diet, not to completely replace it, but a good supplement for your diet, a good, healthy supplement for your diet.
Q, do you remember who do you remember a name, Jack LaLanne? Jack?
Yes. He
Was he
one
an
of the first
athlete or
exercise-
Olympian or something like that?
Yeah, he was one of the first exercise gurus, and he helped to bring this into to juicing to the forefront, because he had a machine as actually he was an exercise guru, and he actually pushed juicing. And if you were old enough to remember, there were machines that he marketed that really pushed juicing to the forefront. And I want to add to something Kenny said. Not only recovery, but it was a way to get those nutrients and stuff right into the bloodstream very, very quickly. So yeah, I remember Jack LaLanne.
Q, let me ask you this follow up. Is pitfalls or myth, is juicing better than eating whole vegetables and fruits? Explain why not? And then true or false, can juicing alone actually perform detoxification in your body? You got some tough questions there. Tough questions.
Yeah, there's a couple of questions. The first part of that question, I'll start with the first part of that question. Why juicing can be wonderful, because it gets those nutrients straight into the body without any wasted time. It gets there quickly. You know what I'm saying? When you eat food, you have to wait for the time the body has to digest it and you pull those nutrients out through the saliva process. But in juicing, it goes straight into that stream and feeds that body quickly. It gets those nutrients there. But the second part of that is, Can it replace it? No, it can't, because really it can't, because you're missing the fiber, and fiber is an important part of our diet. Believe it or not, we need that fiber in our diets, man. So the juicing takes away the fiber part of it, which is an important part of our diet. And as far as the detox, that's kind of a myth that people got caught up in the promotion and hype of juicing, where that juicing help with the detox. Well, our body does that naturally. Our kidneys and livers detoxify our body naturally. Now, are there some components of it that help a little bit? Yeah, probably so. But our body does the bulk of that on its own.
I would challenge you on the end part of that.
I would definitely challenge that part, because your body needs the right fuel so it can detox. And with the right juicing the proper things will enhance and increase the effects of your detox for sure.
Well, I'll push back again. Once again, our livers and our kidneys naturally detox our body. Juices can help support that. I'm not saying they don't support it, but our livers and our kidneys are the ones who do that as a whole.
I think that's what he's saying, Q, because
Exactly. That's all.
That's what I was saying originally.
Okay. And I was just saying because those organs are designed to do what you said, Q. But to help those organs work more effectively, there are certain things that if you juice them over eating them, they really like it's a juice called the lemon ginger blast, and it's by this guy named Lou Corona, because I'm like big into juicing, and it is designed to like whip your body into shape and to get mucoid plaque out of your intestinal lines that
is correct.
That builds into your intestinal lines. Feedback to your audio until you speak. But mucoid plaque gets stuck in your intestinal walls, and it's part of the reason why I'm going through another juice fast right now. And one of the only ways to get that out is through a juice fast and certain combinations of juices of fruits and vegetables that is designed almost like a medicine to help with that. So it can detox in a certain way. Go ahead, Art, I'll shut up.
Oh, no, I was just going to echo. You're absolutely right. They're designed to help your body extract, depending on the blend, specific situations, specific things. So, I definitely concur. And then when you add herbal teas and everything else with that at the same time, you pushing it up to a whole other level.
Going in and out.
Because certain things you can juice and put in a juice, they will actually. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I'm gonna pick up your question for you, and if you can jump in, great. But your questions I was going to ask you was, when it comes to recipes, is there a best ratio for the percentage of mix between the fruit and the juice and the vegetables in the juice? Like, should you do more fruits or should you do more veggies in the juice and just top the fruit off for flavor, just so that you can stay in the taste profile? And then I was going to ask you about the quality of consuming juice. Should you consume it fresh, right after it's made, prepackaged, like from a store, or can you make it and store it in your refrigerator and drink it later? And does it matter what the quality level of it? Does it differ in those different stages? So I'm gonna tackle the first one first, unless you can jump in. Can you unmute?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead on the first one.
First one,
hold on, Lynn. I just got a text saying we are struggling with audio. Please bear with us.
Say what?
Just got a text saying we're struggling with audio. They can't hear the audio. Please bear with us.
Yeah, are you going in and out? You definitely going in and out.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I'll pick up the answer for Art. As far as the mix and juice, the ratio between fruits and vegetables, both can be very beneficial. Because a lot of time when you're juicing, a lot of people say, well, the problem with juicing is that you get a whole lot of, if you do you get that sugar straight to your system real fast, like if you're juicing apples or oranges, like you see on the screen real fast. And I'm gonna call BS on that, because you know, it's a different type of glycogen that's hitting your system from a fruit than it is from a soda. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, it'll give you that initial insulin spike. Any form of sugar will, even from these fruits, but it levels off right quickly because of the natural compounds from those juices. So, and then they can be designed to do certain things. Because fruit can give you a lot more energy real fast. But if you want to lose weight, I wouldn't say just juice on fruits because it is going to take longer. You
Yes.
still lose weight, but I would say more veggies will be better. Now, the second part of that question,
Yeah. Can I interject on that?
yes,
Wouldn't a juice that's basically using things like kale and spinach greens with adding apple or any other kind of fruit that's slightly sweetened, wouldn't that be the best of both worlds? It would require adding both of them together, giving you the nutrients from the greens, but the sweetness from the vegetables to make it palatable.
yeah,
And
I would
better
say
taste.
that's the best way to do
Yeah.
it. I
That's a
did
great question.
I did say
Yeah.
that, Q. I don't know if you caught it. You know, to use the fruits of it for the taste profile, so it's not so pungent on your palate.
Yeah.
Is what I was saying. Maybe you didn't yet, but it's all good. But we're saying the same things. But there's times when just fruit alone might be the best thing for you because you just need that energy. You need that pack of energy. Like if you're going to do a sporting event or something like that, or recovery real fast, you might want that just predominant fruit in that profile. But I would really go more veggies than fruit. Now, the second part, I think that when is it consumed and what's the quality of it? I would say best. Like as soon as you see that juice coming out that juicer right there,
Yes.
drink that bad boy right then and there. It is. You can't get no fresher than that. This is the same as if you went to, buy something at a restaurant. As soon as they cook it and they bring it, that's when you want to eat it. That's when it should be its best quality. Suppose you pay its packages and take it home, or you buy something prepackaged that was made and then put in the grocery store and you consume it. It's going to be very similar as far as the quality.
Well, Lenny, let's talk about those other aspects of it, like buying store-bought juices. Now I know they have been known to be hyped to be healthy, but actually, don't they carry a lot of things in it that are probably not so good for the body as well?
But when you buy a juice from the store, and this is what I would say, I wouldn't buy a juice from the store because most juices in the store are pasteurized. And what pasteurized means that they're flash heated so that they have longer shelf life and they can sell them in the store. Because you see this juice coming out here,
Exactly.
you
That's what
can't
it's all
take this
about.
juice out this juicer, put it on a shelf, and it
Right.
stay in that store for any more than like 3-4 days because then it's going to start
Right.
to lose its quality and all of that 4 or 5 days. So what they do is they actually heat the juice, which is a form of pasteurization to
Yes.
extend the shelf life on, and then they add a few chemicals in it as well to make the shelf life go much longer. And then that juice is not worth, the juice that you see coming out of this juicer. So yes, that it is definitely true. Q.
And are other sugars added to it as well. A lot of times, are extra sugars added to those juices as well to make them
No,
palatable?
not necessarily. Not necessarily. They're not. Unless you get like Welch's or some shit like that, then they ain't even real juice. Then that's like because if you really go look at a Welch's or something like that,
Yeah.
and even some juices like Naked, that's
Yeah,
some
that's what I'm
BS.
talking about. The naked
Yeah,
juices. That's what I'm
yeah,
talking about.
Naked, that's a BS. It's nowhere near naked. You know what I'm saying?
Nowhere
It's
near.
what I'm
like
talking about.
it's like so loaded down with so much bull crap in there. But Kenny, I want to go to you. Should die
Hold
because
on,
people.
hold on, Lenny. One more question. I want to answer our audience's question. Pamela Williams wanted to know what 3 ingredients would you recommend for juice?
I'm gonna talk about that very shortly. I'm gonna talk about that
Okay.
very, very short.
Okay.
So go ahead, Kenny.
Should diabetics approach juicing or not. Well, first of all, let me just say this. We should have said this at the beginning of the show. We are not physicians. We are not providing any medical advice. Please, before starting this or any other thing you hear on this show or anywhere for that matter, please consult with your physician and make sure it's right for you. But to get back to the question, if you read it, it would say with caution, but just like Lenny said, fruits have a natural sugar. It's not like somebody took a thing of aspartame or something to put it in. No, it has a natural sugar. But should you be cautious with it? Absolutely. As with everything else. As far as kids, it's the same thing. It's the sugar. Even though it's natural sugar, it's the sugar content. It can spike your glucose level, so you should be careful with it, especially giving it to children, just like anything else. But it's not. You may go online and Google it, and it's not as bad as you think it is. It's like Lenny said, it's not pasteurized. It's not flash heated. It's natural sugars. There's a big difference. And if this goes into a show we were planning on a year ago before I got sick, and we're going to do it again, read the labels. Because on those labels it says it has sugar, and then it has added sugar. The sugar content is the natural sugar.
Great point, Ken. Great point.
Look at the added sugar. Don't let it.
Did you guys know green juice is super anti-aging? I'm in my 40s.
Great
He's
point,
in his
Ken.
50s.
Great
She's
point. Now, Q,
Lenny, you're in the middle of a juicing regimen right now. I know you are. You're juicing. Lenny is juicing as we speak. And Lenny, you've been doing it for how long? You've been juicing now for the last about a month or so?
No, not that long. I've only been juicing. This is my second week. And I'm gonna tell you, when you're juicing, you will not forget how long you've been juicing or not, because your ass know you ain't eating. You know, you count. You know the days. You know exactly how many days you have.
It's been about a couple of weeks then, about 2 weeks.
A week and a half. And here's one of my juices right here. This is orange juice. Not orange juice. This is carrot juice right here. Carrots. And you can do something with the carrot pulp too. Actually, when the pulp comes off of the carrot.
I want to talk about that too before we get out of here.
You can actually make tuna out of tuna replacement. This is in a soda, a water bottle container, but this is green juice. This is kale, and then this one right here is celery juice right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's in.
Is there anything else there besides those green in that green picture? Is there anything else besides that kale or that celery in that juice? Did you add apple or anything else to make it more palatable?
No, what I do, Q, is I have apple that's in the refrigerator, and I have lemon, but I separate everything.
Okay.
I don't put them all. I don't mix all the juices together in one juice because then you can't. It's like a recipe. Okay. It's like would you take all your spices? Would you take all your spices and just mix them all together, then sprinkle them on something? No, you wouldn't. Yeah. You would take them and utilize them as you need to. That's the same thing I do with juice. But let me show you this video.
All your juices separately, and then you may make one concoction if you want to have a different taste. Do you operate in that manner?
Yes, I do. Mimi said high fructose, and she says, Lenny, are they high in sugar? This is what I'm gonna tell you about sugar, because juice gets a bad misconception. They damn sure ain't higher than nothing you drinking outside of juices.
Nope.
And it burns off much faster than anything. Soda, juice from a store, alcohol, whatever, all of that stuff.
Natural sugar.
You know what I mean? So when people say, I ain't gonna juice because, you know what I mean, that stuff high in sugar. Look at the shit you're doing now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just telling you, listen, I'm just being real with you. What you drinking now on a regular basis, unless you're drinking black coffee with no sugar, no cream, that's the kind of like in my team.
Or water.
Or you drinking water.
Water.
You know what I mean? Anything outside of that is way worse for you than the sugar that people talk about when they talk about sugar is high in juice. And that's what I'm gonna tell you. Now, Pamela asked a question about ingredients. I'm going to play this real fast. It's just a really short 40-second video. Listen.
In our 60s, we love green juice. We're going to show you one of our favorite green juices out there, created by Luke Corona, who is 72. And
he's 72. That's his picture. That's what he looked like today at 72. And listen to how long this guy been juicing. Here we go.
Created by Luke Corona, who is 72, and he drinks this every day.
We're going to start with mint. Oh my God, it smells heavenly.
She's
it makes
65.
any juice muy delicioso. And cilantro, the heavy metal detox.
1 bunch of parsley, a blood purifier.
Celery, which gives you all natural, really good salts.
Cucumber, hydrating.
1 lemon.
Ginger for a kick, because I'm spicy.
And turmeric.
We're going to add 2 apples, just for a little bit of sweetness.
And half a habanero pepper for the kick that everybody needs.
You got this. Oh, nice pour.
Not bad.
Cheers. And you guys, some people choose to add water to this recipe. It's your choice. And have a great day. I hope you guys try this. Bye. Love you guys.
So yeah, I mean that's that's called a lemon ginger blast. If you want that, we'll put that in the chat on the Night Brothers intermittent fasting page. I'll throw those ingredients out there, and that's
The
why I
habanero
separate.
peppers what caught my attention, Lanny. That habanero pepper. Woo!
Yeah. You can add all kinds of stuff, and that's why I add different things to the juices.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why I separate them, and then I mix them accordingly, because then you can have portions of whatever you want in there. And like when I started a week and a half ago. I went like 7 days straight, and then. I'm not doing like a straight juice fast for like 30, 40 days. I'm not doing that this time. I used to do that every May for some years ago. Now I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm 60-some years old. I'm going to do this a little bit different, and I'm going to work my way up to what I want to. So I went the first 7 days, was like 120-some hours or whatever crazy amount that is. Then I ate.
Just juice.
I actually ate. I started from Sunday to Sunday. So that Saturday night I ate. And I had the worst, when I say worst stomach ache possible that you could ever think of. It woke me out of my sleep, Kenny. I couldn't sleep. I was tossing and turning and all of that.
Body wasn't used to that. Wasn't used to consuming that food. And I would take it. Is that what it was?
My stomach, yeah, it was like just that fast. In 7 days, my body had got accustomed to not breaking down stuff, and I ate like I normally eat. And I was like, that was a huge mistake. I should have known better as somebody that's into this lifestyle.
Wow.
But so then I went back and I fasted again for 44 hours. That's what you see on the screen right there. And then I ate again, but I ate differently. I just ate some salad, some light stuff.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, what did you eat that first time?
Exactly.
The first time I was, I like nuts, so I ate a lot of nuts. Nuts are very hard to break down in your system. And I think I ate some. Tashia had bought some catfish, and it was very good. And before I started the fast, I remember eating that catfish before the fast, Kenny. That shit was good. So when I got up after that 7 days, I was like, "You still got that catfish?" And she had froze some of it because I told her don't throw it away because I might eat some of it when I break my fast. And there was some left in the refrigerator. And I went and got that catfish out and heated that bad boy up in the air griller, and I suffered that night. So when I went back the second time after doing the 44 hours, I just did fruits, mainly fruits. That was it.
Salads and fruits. Okay, yeah.
And right now, I after that 44 one, I started another one. So now I don't know how many hours I'm in. Probably like 30 hours into this next round. But real fast, man. Like 6-7 pounds. Like real fast. Like first week 6-7 pounds. Gone, and I can see clothes size. I can see. And this is what I'm gonna tell you about juice fasting and why I wanted to have this show, because I'm in the midst of one right now. And you gotta find what's worked for you, and this is what I'm gonna help this big time to everybody.
Exactly.
And we're gonna go to almost to the end. And while I'm talking this, I wanted to say Happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful mothers that are out there. We put y'all on the screen. Don't beat me up if I forgot you. I just couldn't get you in the video. But some of y'all see yourself. They go Pamela, they go Armand, and his mother, and his wife.
Big bro.
Margaret, Nick, definitely big shout out
number
to you,
one
girl. Happy Mother's Day. Me, Miss Lady Aunt, Kenny's wife. Best of night, we still love you. Jalama, my sister. Happy Mother's Day to all you ladies. So if you see your screen, Pamela Smith, Art's mom, as you see this scrolling past. But anyway, I'm gonna say this.
Look at my mama.
That's your mama, no doubt, and your sister,
sister
right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So shout outs to all you say, Chips are married to each
Go ahead, get your thought out, bro. Get your thought out, man. Don't worry
Okay.
about that.
Oh yeah, me. I got carried away with the ladies.
Lisa Slade.
Lisa, yeah, definitely. Shout out to y'all,
Lisa
y'all
Peter.
folks. Y'all amazing. So anyway, I'm just saying, you know, I'm gonna sum this up. When you juicing, just take your time with it and find
Yes.
out if it works for you, because intermittent fasting, like 20-hour fast, 24-hour fast, sometimes they work for me as well. They work extremely well for equating.
Yes.
But my system, like a 20-hour fast or a 24-hour fast, just be barely touching to the point where I'm getting something out of it. So I need, if I'm gonna just fast, with just water fast, that's what we're talking about, not juice fast, because you are getting some nutrients from the juice. I need to do like a 48-hour fast to really be impactful for me. And that's 2 days, you know what I mean, with just water. So you gotta find what works for you. You know what I mean? And whatever works for you, you need to find that and utilize that. That's what I'm gonna say about that.
I'd agree with that wholeheartedly, man. Wholeheartedly. You know, so no question about it.
Absolutely.
Everybody body reacts differently to certain things. And for you, the juice fasting really seems to work. And for me,
Yeah, man. I mean, juice fast really helps me out.
for you, man.
You know
But
what I mean?
intermittent fasting works for me. All I do is increase my time a little bit. Bam, it just works for me.
Yeah.
So everybody's different. Everybody's different.
Yeah, but y'all want to shout out anybody? I look, if we miss your picture, man, don't get mad.
Yeah.
Man. I swear, I kind of threw this in at the end, like 10 minutes before the show started, just put together a montage of some beautiful ladies. And I was just looking at some of the pictures, just how beautiful y'all are. And the sisters, y'all are amazing. You know, Pam and your wife right there, Kenny, and your mom. Look at your mom, man. Just beautiful as she want to be. You know what I mean? Sisterhood. You know, shout out to y'all ladies. But you want to shout out
If
anybody?
you still have a mother, man, you know how blessed you are. If you still have a mother, man, you are blessed. You know, I miss mine every day, but just want to say happy Mother's Day to all the ladies. And if we missed anybody, it was from the head and not from the heart. So that's all we can say. But let's wrap it up, brother, and move this thing on. And we'll see folks next week.
Yep. Next week, some shows that's coming down the pike, just so y'all know. The BBL. We might hit the BBL situation, talk about BBLs a little bit in a future
Lonnie,
broadcast.
we want to remind people about this Saturday, too. We want to remind people about the MLK parade and festival that's going on in Atlanta.
Liddy, stop, Liddy. Oh my God.
All right,
Oh
we
my
better
God.
go, because
We have so much fun doing this show. Y'all just don't.
All righty, folks. Hopefully we'll see some of you guys Saturday at the parade, at the MLK parade in Annapolis.
In town at the Arundel Center, there's a parade, starts at 11. After that, there's a concert with Pocket 3, Clones of Funk, and our band Shine will be playing as well. So come on out and enjoy your time.
Enjoy that.
All
All right, good night, everybody.
All right.
Good night. Good night.
Sorry about the broadcast interruption.